The Clone Wars micro-series Volume 2 is superiorly better than Volume 1. The difference in this volume is that the episodes are more episodic than just being 3 minutes of just action. And I really like that. That's not to say that I don't like Volume 1, it's just that I prefer to have a purpose and a point to the really long action scenes. Because in Volume 1, the action scenes are mainly just for the sake of action. There is no story really behind the action for like half of this show. It's just, you get a Jedi, they do something cool, and that's the action. But in Volume 2, it's much different. There's a point. And this feels more like a movie, a mini-movie, than a show. What I mean is that the episodic nature it's not like you're watching like 4 episodes. This is chapters 21, 25, I believe. So this is the last episodes, last couple episodes. Yet they are very connective with one another. And it feels like Rogue One in the sense that this takes place right before the installment film. Rogue One takes place right up to, at least right up to A New Hope. This is exactly the same thing. This Volume 2 leads exactly into Revenge of the Sith. It leads right up to it. And it's so cool. It makes me hyped to see Revenge of the Sith now, even though it's not canon anymore. It did the job. And that was a purpose, because at the time, this came out in 2005. This came out like a couple of months before the film came out. This has a lot more connection to like the prequels, and more specifically Revenge of the Sith. I'm gonna assume they had insight with George Lucas to kind of get some of the droids and characters from Revenge of the Sith into this, make it feel more connective. Also, the reason why this is more this is like Rogue One, because both of these shows, the movie Rogue One and this Volume 2, this entire story is based off of a line in the opening crawl for both instances, which I find funny that you can make something like this from just one line of text in the opening crawl. So I like that. I like how this entire thing is basically Grievous capturing Palpatine, because in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, Grievous captured him, and you see how Shakti and the other 2 Jedi protect him at all costs, but eventually does fail. They may say, where's Anakin and Obi-Wan in this? Well, Palpatine's a master of planning, and he planned it out. And basically, Anakin and Obi-Wan go on a side mission that, like, halfway through, I'm like, oh my god, this makes sense why they're here, because, like, they would pretty much capture, they would protect Palpatine. If Anakin and Obi-Wan were with Shakti, they would defeat Grievous right then and there. Anakin goes on a spiritual journey, and yeah, the mission itself, the side mission with Anakin, isn't that important, but it doesn't need to be. Yeah, it's really cool. It's much more, there's more depth to this in Volume 1, which makes sense because there's actual dialogue in this. You know, like, oh my god, there's actual dialogue, and there is some connection to Volume 1, which is like some very, a one-off line just explaining Anakin and Asajj Ventress's duel in Volume 1. Now, that's just a throwaway line. And honestly, I would just recommend you just skip Volume 1, unless you just like pure action scenes. You know, this is more, like, this feels like a starting off point. Now, I know this isn't canon anymore, but this is more in ties to Revenge of the Sith. And this isn't like the Clone Wars 2008 one, where it's more accurate, I would say, to what Anakin and Obi-Wan are doing. Because I remember, I think in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin said that they're like off doing their Outer Rim sieges, I think it's called, but in Volume 2 they don't do that. So that's a continuity issue, but in the canon version of this, it is accurate. We need to see a version, because the Shakti stuff and General Grievous fighting Palpatine, or capturing Palpatine, is accurate. Like, that is 100% in my head canon what happened, every single bit of it. I loved it. How that happened is canon, and it is to an extent still canon, because in the opening crawl of Revenge of the Sith. So I enjoy Volume 2. There isn't much to it. That's only really there. I'm surprised how few in between was. I thought the episodes would have been more like episodic. Like, it was like I knew that was gonna happen, but I didn't know that was the entire thing. So I'm trying to say, I thought Anakin and Obi-Wan wanted more adventures prior to that, but no, Not really. You have to take a quick montage of Anakin just being the badass. Anakin is what he's supposed to be, like a height of the Jedi. He is the most powerful of Jedi, and he's very badass. And yeah, I liked Anakin in this. I warmed up to the voice actor for him. It's fine. Everyone has more dialogue, which I like. And I believe a lot of the voice actors are from the 2008 Clone Wars, which is cool, you know. Don't waste the voice actors, you know. They voiced them here, and they're continuing voicing them in the Clone Wars show in 2008 one. It's great. It's cool. I recognize a lot of these voices, except for Grievous. But this micro-series still dealt with, or in this volume, it dealt more with, you know, the film version. They're trying to be accurate to the film as possible, which I like. It does feel like the prequel version of Rogue One. So I enjoyed it more than Volume 1. So where does that lie in my rankings then if I enjoy this more than Volume 1? So Volume 2 of the Clone Wars microseries goes above Rebels Season 4, but below Mandalorian Season 1. That's where I'm putting it. I think that's a great place to put it, in my opinion. I like it way more than Volume 1, as you can see. And yeah, I can't put it above Mandalorian mainly because I just think Mandalorian is more true to Star Wars, has a more, you know, poetic meaning, or more poetic meaning than Volume 2 of the microseries, so that's where I'm putting it. But we're not done. There's only 2 volumes of this, so that means I need to rank the entirety of this microseries. I'm just going to quickly go over this because I don't really have much to say about it. The Clone Wars microseries is a good series if you like a lot of action. If you want to see the Jedi, like if your favorite part of the prequel trilogy is seeing the Jedi just, you know, destroying battle droids by the dozen, you know, that you see sparsely across the prequel trilogy, then this show is for you. But if you want something more deep and meaningful that are actually about the characters, then the 2008 one is for you. But I enjoyed it. I'm not going to necessarily, you know, rewatch the entire thing all over again from the start to the end of this entire microseries, but, you know, it's still a fun ride and very action-packed. I kept my attention up my entire time because of how much action there was. It was very cool. It felt like a kid playing with his toys, and that's fine by me. So where do I rank it in my rankings then? The entire Clone Wars microseries goes above Rebels Season 4, but below Volume 2 of the Clone Wars microseries. Yes, this is the first time that the entire series goes below a Pacific season. It's the first time ever. Because I believe that this microseries does not have a good story from start to end. Because Volume 1 felt so anthology-like and didn't really focus on any particular character all that much, that Volume 2 kind of felt like its own separate thing, which is fine, but that's what I'm ranking it. If I'm ranking it as an entire show, that's where it is, and it's still a fun show, so I think that's a fair place to put it. Do you agree or disagree with my rankings? I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed Volume 2, I enjoyed the series, and I'm glad that I did watch this, because a lot of people said that this was a good show. Not to the extent that this is the best thing ever, but it's a really fun and interesting show that is from a bygone era of George Lucas Star Wars, which this thing took place when the prequel trilogy wasn't completed, so it was really interesting to look back on that. And I'm glad I watched it. So I'm gonna go now, so goodbye everyone.